Hi guys, this is a video autobiography of the early years of my life. Recently I posted a video on my website, and in 1 week it had 420 visits, but not one person emailed. Not one person emailed me, so I want to address that in this video here. Maybe you are interested and you think, where's the catch? Well, the catch is, I must say I never lie, I never exaggerate, I do make mistakes, but the catch is, this is a journey of blood, sweat and tears. However, the reward is an ideal world. So if you see this video, you might feel like I can be trusted, and you might feel, yes, I will email him. My name is Colin Crawford, I'm 64, I have a mental health disability, so I'm not working, and I was born in the northwest of the UK in a city called Manchester. I need to explain a bit about my character. It's not very polite, but at a young age of 5 or 6 years old, I learnt how to, masturbate. My parents, my mother, just ignored it, and even in my adult years, she ignored it. And I think this is quite an unusual personality. It's quite unusual, it doesn't happen very often. But that was my life. As a child, I went to a very nice primary school in the suburbs of Manchester. A comment I would often hear from other children my age, about 8 or 9 years old, was, I don't care. So if there's something sacrificial was going to happen, looking out for the world and another person, they would say, I don't care. I thought this was wrong. I thought we should care. I was a bright and clever kid, and I didn't believe in God. Why didn't I believe in God? I would ask my friends at that age, about 10, 11 years old, do you believe God exists? They say yes. Do you believe that God created you? They would say yes. So I'd ask them, who created God? And none of them had an answer. Even my teachers, everybody was the same. They all said they believed in God, but nobody knew the answer to this question, who created God? So I said, you might as well believe in the sun, it's just a source of comfort for you. It's been totally illogical. At the age of 11, in the primary school, there was a nationally set examination. And if you passed the exam, you went to a really high quality secondary school. And I passed it very easily. But 1 year later, after my first year in the grammar school, my parents wanted to start a new career. And they bought a restaurant in a very rural part of Wales. I didn't realise that at the time, but I just landed in a very, very nationalist area of Wales, and I was bullied ruthlessly from my first attendance until my last. At that time, I still masturbated. I'm sorry I have to say this, but I discovered something. The girls I was fantasising about, I started to care for them and want to protect them. So this turned from a form of perversion into a blessed state, because I was protective, loving and caring for people around me. When I was older, about 15 years old, I realised that my atheist beliefs weren't working. I wanted to receive love, and I would show off and demand love from other people. And I realised I was going down in a downward spiral. And I was clever enough to guess, maybe my original premise, my original idea is on shaky ground, it's false. At that time, I started to develop a love for astronomy. And when I worked in the restaurant, Mum and Dad's restaurant, I went out the back door at the back of the kitchen, and I could see the sky up there. Beautiful dark sky, with all these dots all around. I loved it. I read about astronomy and I bought a pair of binoculars. And then in the local library in the village, I found a book called The Origins of the Universe by a man called Albert Hinkelbein. The book said everything in the universe consists of 3 dimensions, and these 3 dimensions are mass or energy, which are interchangeable, volume and time. And these three, everything in the universe has these 3 dimensions. Also, they always occur together, not separately. Before the Big Bang, it was suggested there was a 4th dimension, a world not of our 3 dimensions. And it is likely that the 4th dimension still exists today. So from this I had a conclusion. I cannot ask who created God, because you cannot say God did not exist at one point in time, did not exist, another point in time later he did exist, because God is outside of time. God has no time. Time does not exist regarding God. So you cannot ask that question. And then I had the answer to my original question in the primary school. At that time, on the television news, there were reports of a famine in Ethiopia. People were dying of starvation. And when I saw that, I was moved, and I decided that I would use my life to solve problems like that in the world. And then early one morning, maybe when I was 16 years old, I was sat listening in the sunshine, listening to beautiful music, and I questioned the idea, why isn't the world perfect? I thought the world consists of individuals, but individuals are not perfect. So I thought, why don't individuals grow to perfection? And looking back at my chemistry teaching, if you have a saturated solution of copper sulfate, it will grow crystals. And the crystals, as long as the solution is saturated and pure copper sulfate, these crystals will grow bigger and bigger. But if you add an impurity, another chemical, a crystal will not form. So I question then, people are born with an impurity. And I thought, if I can discover that impurity and tell the world, I can save the world. And I decided that that's going to be my project in life, applying science to it. And that's what I wanted to do. Going back to the 4th dimension, I was wondering, what is it? What has no mass or energy, no volume and no time? What could that 4th dimension be? And I thought about it, and I thought it could be love, because love has no mass, love has no volume, and love has no time. However, if you have no love in your life, you can commit suicide. It has the power of life over death. And I guessed that the 4th dimension, which existed originally and still exists in the world today, was love. And then I remember there is a saying, God is love. And then from this conclusion I realised that I'd found and discovered that God is love, and I had proven my idea. When I was 16, I sat my national exams. I took 8 subjects, and in the exams I was the top student in the school, especially in science. My dad was very pleased, and he said, "You've done that without even trying." But then I lost my interest in school. In the later years, aged 16 to 18, I studied advanced level subjects in 3 subjects, maths, chemistry and physics, but they had no relationship to my project. So I completely lost interest, and I was trying to puzzle and wonder how to begin my project. I kept my project a secret because I needed an unbiased situation to research it, and I didn't even tell my dad, and that might have been a mistake. So after the exam results were very poor, I decided to go to Liverpool to study engineering. The college was a very low standard. In 1978 in Liverpool, I speculated and wondered, has somebody in the world already started a project like this and made more progress than me? And I thought I would like to meet such a person. And I thought, if there was such a person, how would they meet somebody like me? And I speculated they would stand on the busiest shopping street and stop me as I walked past. I thought, that's how I'm going to meet such a person. A year later, something happened. I was in an incredibly positive frame of mind, feeling really joyful and happy. And I walked onto the main shopping street and I saw a very scruffy Oriental young woman. And when I got near her, she stopped me. And when she stopped me, she started talking. And she started talking about world peace. And this conversation went on and on and on, but it wasn't a conversation, because she did all the talking. All I said was, and I never said a word to her. I started worrying. I thought, what does this person want? Does she want money? Does she want to have a room for the night? And I wondered about it. After 20 minutes, she said to me, would you like to come and have a coffee with me? I said, yes. So we walked to a nearby building and went up some stairs, and then in some kind of office kind of environment there were comfy settees and a few rooms and a kitchen, I think there was as well. And there were all these Japanese girls with their guests all over the place. So the first thing I did was to ask, do you have a textbook? And they said, yes, we have a textbook. And I read the first line in the textbook. It said, everyone, without exception, is striving to achieve happiness. I'd never thought of that. I thought that's a really interesting idea. It implies if everybody in the world is striving to achieve happiness, that the world should be happy. It's not happy, so I wondered, why is that? So I began to test the theory. I thought, am I striving to achieve happiness? Tick, yes. Are my teachers striving to achieve happiness? Tick, yes. Is a drunk striving to achieve happiness? Tick, yes. Is a criminal striving to achieve happiness? Tick, yes. And that's how I met Yukiko, the Japanese lady, how I came to study the book The Divine Principle by a genius called Sun Myung Moon. So there you are. There are more videos to follow, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.